Review started.
I won't go blind. I'll just get a massive headache. All right, so you're white, 13Q. Yep, no big deal. Joseki. What's a simpler Joseki here? Is there a simple Joseki? What about attach? I'm looking at this one, but I don't know if this one's simple or not. Especially when he already has a stone right here. Yeah, maybe there's not a simple Joseki when there's a stone right here. Okay, let's just see what you did. Defense, defense, defense. Cool, cool, cool. And run away. No big deal. When in doubt, basic your way out. And you did. To Tanuki. Perfect. He already has an enclosure, so usually enclose or extension is better. Yeah, no, run's fine. I mean, basics-wise, you didn't mess anything up. There are probably other Josekis you can choose, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. Probably don't need to approach an already enclosed corner, because that just leads to a pincer. And the 3-3 is a little bit different now, but I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, it still works. Just, yeah. Escape. He's supposed to surround you. Remember, run away is step 2. I space is step 3. So if he doesn't surround you, escape. Okay, nice. Tiger's mouth. Cut that stone off. And you're alive. So now you're out and alive. Seems pretty nice. There is Aji right here. That's annoying. But technically you're alive, so it's not the end of the world. So maybe it'd be worth fix and then fix. Or just get out and make it Miai. If he goes here, you go here. If he goes here, you go here. Maybe it's fine. Just easy life. Hello, Meckrave. I'm not sure why you're over here. Like, we fixed this group, and until Black gets one more move, we don't need to respond. So it feels like we should just Tanuki and play a big move. This is not a big move anymore, because this is not an open side. Thank you for the follow. I like Go. I like Go too. Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you have any questions. This is not the big move anymore. So we're thinking big move. Left side's probably largest framework. So cap, shoulder hit. These are our basic shapes. But if the right side wasn't the big area, why are you doing it? Yep. So you had to live here. Are you alive? Don't you need one more move? So if I go right here, and you go right here, and I go right here, you go right here, are you alive? So if I go here, it's just here. But that takes. So maybe. So let's not Hane. Let's just instead go here, here, and here. That is alive. I guess it's alive. Yeah, the worst case scenario, it's a Seki. Um, so let me just clarify your statement. You tried to read it out, but obviously that was a little difficult to read, and that's fair. It's hard to read that. But you figured you would be way behind if you live in Gote. Which begs the question, on the flip side, dying in Sente is also pretty large. So wouldn't that also put you behind if you died in Sente? So if I played right here and you were dead, right? Because you didn't know the answer, okay? You didn't know the answer and you said, well, I don't want to lose Sente. So I play right here. You're dead. And you get another move. Okay, is this entire corner worth 2 moves? Honestly, it just might be. But that's a very bad habit, though. You have to be 100% with life and death. Life and death is one of those areas that cannot be skipped. Because if you're wrong, you lose a ton of points. You don't want to go. So I'm really, really heavy of the opinion that you should play in a safe and reliable way. Gambling is not reliable. Gambling is high risk, high reward. So tanuking a group that is uncertain is like you said, it's gambling. I think that is a bad habit. It is not what you should do. If you think that you are going to lose because you have to live, then your mistake is something prior. It is not the living move. Living with a weak group is not the mistake if you're losing from living. Yeah. So the rule of thumb here is, or the basic rule of thumb. Now everything has exceptions with reading and counting, right? So if you read the life and death of this corner and you said I'm going to die, but tanuking twice is worth more than that dead group, yeah, you can do that. But you have to first read it accurately, and then second, you have to count it accurately, and third, you have to count the tanukis accurately and make a proper judgment call. You have to be 100% with life and death. Because life and death, if you are wrong, yeah. Now, on the flip side, you cannot play T18 if you cannot read how to kill. So let me back up to the rule of thumb. Rule of thumb, if your group is completely surrounded, it is a life and death problem. You cannot tanuki a life and death problem without reading if it's alive or dead. But on the flip side, there's the over defense. If you are going to defend, that means you can tell me what black will play to attack you. On a situation like this, unfortunately, the life and death is above your level. When that happens, simplify the life and death problem so that way you can read that black cannot kill you, and then tanuki. So here is the correct basic for this level. But if you defend again, it's bad. It's over defense. So that's a very thin line of how you play basics at this uncertain level where you have trouble reading. The line is, if you read your opponent's playing a move and you can't live, then you should defend. But if you can't read your opponent doing anything to you, then don't defend. It's better to lose and learn. So it's a thin line. Thin line. But for life and death, where you can't really do a cheat sheet on life and death. You can't really skip and gamble. Life and death is like one of the most dangerous areas to do that. So it's not going to be basics. You don't take risk. You don't take high risk in basics. If it's a high risk plan, it's likely not basic. That's like high level thinking. So in this case, I really think you should have defended this corner once, one time. Just make it alive, and then Tanigi. And I don't think you're losing. Like, black doesn't have that much of the board. Black has maybe 30 points at best. So you're not losing if you live, or if you defend that corner. Alright, so black plays. So who has the biggest area? Good question. What about white? What if I go here and here? I guess black just reduces me, but I reduce back. So just fight for the center. So if you can't read it out and you aren't clearly alive and you are surrounded, then defend. If you the rule of thumb is you read your opponent trying to kill you. If there's a chance that your opponent's going to kill you and the life and death is above your level, then yeah, go ahead and just live. But if you read something and you can't find anything for your opponent to even make a chance to kill you, don't defend. Both cases, you should improve your life and death so you can read it out. You should always, the correct answer is always read it out, right? But playing at our level, life and death is unfortunately not so easy. So the correct answer is read it. If you can't kill it, don't defend it. But like a double digit Q, telling a double digit Q to read out a life and death problem and knowing the answer yes or no is just not reliable. You can do that in other parts of the game, but in life and death, it's going to lose you games, and you don't want to do that. So it's kind of a rule of thumb, but if you're single digit Q, or at least 5Q plus, you got to read it out. You can't, that's a double digit Q rule of thumb. But for a single digit Q at 5Q plus, or Dawn level, you have to read it out, and trust your reading. Yeah, I think a double digit Q, just the life and death, is just not quite there yet. Unfortunately, I don't think a 13Q can read that corner. I really don't. But that also means I don't think a 13Q can solve that corner. So if I'm black, let's say your opponent does something natural like this, and then says, "Oh, 6, play in the center." This is possible for a 13Q to die. Like, of course, if you read the right answer, yeah, obviously. But you have to take into account what you will play as a human player who's at a 13Q level. This is possible white will die. So yeah, defend. But at 5Q, no, you don't have that excuse. At 5Q plus, you're like, no, you read that out. And if you die, you need more life and death problems. So I wanna clarify. I'm giving advice for this level. At higher levels, the advice changes. Play at your level. Nice. Yeah, play at your level. This pushing from behind is not good. That isn't a big move. Just reduce your opponent, reduce your opponent, reduce your opponent, or build yours. Okay, so black is trying to unsettle you a little bit. These are bad exchanges because you can just go here, like that, and then you have monkey jump. But this is local stuff, right? So you're not that weak, so you can still just reduce or something. All right, so you pushed. This is good reading, and locally you are absolutely correct. No, that's not 6th line territory. Okay, I've said this a couple times, but I actually want to clarify because this is really important. I've had a couple students make this mistake as well. There is a huge difference between framework and territory, and I really want you guys to understand this. This is a very important idea. This over here is not territory. Do not mistake it as territory, because it is not territory. This is territory. Your opponent cannot take that away unless you get something else in exchange and let him. If your opponent goes inside of here, he will die. If your opponent goes inside of here, he will live. Okay? But not all invasions into frameworks are good moves. So just because your opponent can invade and live doesn't mean it's bad for you. So understanding that territory is your points. Your opponent invades, they'll die. But framework is your area of control. If your opponent invades, they will live. But it'll be a positive exchange rate for you because you will get to attack. They will live like 1 or 2 points or 0 points and run away. And every move you make, you will be making points. Even if you make 1 point more than your opponent, it's a positive exchange rate. So that is why controlling a big area is very nice, but there's a huge difference in territory and framework. And there's also different strategies applied to the two different things. So that is why it's a very important distinction. Okay? So, that is not 6th line territory. That is getting control of this section of the board, or establishing more control over this section of the board. But if your opponent establishes control of this section, you have to say who's getting more. And this move itself doesn't do all that much. These 2 stones already are establishing control of this section. So all this move did was increase that by that much. You gave the roof to the house, okay? But black is increasing it over here. So black's increasing more influence than you are. So the exchange rate of control is negative. So it's not a good move. So you have to look at the exchange rates. So yeah, understanding the difference between frameworks and territory, that is very, very important. If your opponent invades a framework, you should not be scared of invasions. Yeah, no insulation on the roof either. Yeah, I would know. I would know. It gets cold up there. So there's different strategies that are applied, and you should not fear your opponent invading a framework, okay? I know a lot of people are scared, like, oh, I don't want to make it bigger because it's so invadable. You want them to invade. That's a positive exchange rate. This game is about making more than your opponent, not maximizing your territory. Maximizing your territory is the worst strategy. Well, not the worst, okay, but like it's a bad strategy. You want to make a positive exchange rate. You are not playing the board. You are not trying to meet 100 points. Your goal is not to make 100 points. Your goal is to make more than your opponent. So you want to look at the exchange rates. So, locally, this is actually really good reading. I really like it. Globally, it's really small. You don't need your eyes yet. So globally, you made a little bit of a mistake here, but no big deal. This is very nice. You're reducing while also building. Nice double Hane. He connects. And don't defend. You turn. Remember, that's not territory. So here, the exchange is both players lose their areas. But black's was bigger than white's. So this is a very positive exchange rate. Also, when you guys run, this one is blocking the influence of black, but nothing is blocking the influence of white. So white is actually going to make some influence because white is on the outside. White is only facing the empty section. So when you guys run, white will actually not only destroy the bigger framework, but white will also be building more than black. So turn here is very nice. And so that is why the double Hane is so good, because you're on the outside and making a positive exchange rate. So if we just play normal shapes, white gets something, black only gets like 3, white gets a lot more. And if black tries to do something crazy, you should have the advantage in the fight. And then it becomes reading, right? But you should have the advantage. Should be easier for you. But defending is greedy. This says, I want the point. I want to turn the left into territory. But you neglected a weak group, and so black's going to run out, like here or maybe here, and try to turn this into territory. So now both players get something, but black's was bigger. So it's a negative exchange rate. Even though you got something, it's a negative exchange rate. How does this help the weak stones? This is not helping the weak stones. That's not what I would have done. Connecting is huge. This is so big. This is understanding the fundamentals. Attack and defense. Connections and cuts are the basics. We learned that at 20Q. But we have to expand on it at this level. Connecting to a base is equal to the best defense idea that you can do. Making a base. Right? So if you connect to a base, that's making a base. That's running away. That is connecting. It's all the defense category in like one move. You are playing defense. But if you play here, that says you are cutting. You're playing offense. That is the wrong basic. So here you got greedy and tried to play offense before defense. And now you're coming back and playing defense. This is really bad order. Because you tried to attack, made black stronger, and then try to run away. That's going to end up in a dead group. Like if I just run right here, where do you go? I'm just playing Knight's moves. Knight's moves are attacking shapes, so these are our basic shapes at this level. All I'm doing is surrounding the weak group. Saving the 2 stones isn't bad. Like saving the 2 stones right here is good. But you then instead chose to attack and not to save the 2 stones. And then after black got stronger, then you decided to save them. That's bad order. Yeah, that is just a bad order. But these 2 stones are very important. They're cutting stones. Cutting stones are worth saving. You're just supposed to run away. Or turn or something. You're supposed to run away. But 1, 2. You Tanuki this group twice. And now you're going to save it? That's not a good order. That's not good basics. Run to the open area. Running this way is going to run into black. This is going to get you killed. Run to the open area. Yeah, don't get confused. Just stick to the basics. This is so greedy. You're trying to defend by killing? Very greedy. Very unreliable. This is funny. Oh. Yeah, I guess nothing works. Never mind. I was thinking maybe you could cut off this group, but you really only have 2 liberties, so you can't do anything. 2 to 3 is... Yeah. Yeah, the corner's easier to read. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Evo, that's what I encourage, but I just review the games that people give me. So, yeah. I think defense first. Don't Tanuki weak groups. Don't get confused. Don't Tanuki weak groups. And then learn how to play in the biggest areas. And hopefully you found that helpful. Alright, to review this game.
Review started.
16Q level, reviewing for black. Shimari. Okay, I do recommend just 3-3 at this level. Easier Josekis, but if you play this one, I just hope you know the Josekis. Thank you for the follow. Yoro. Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you have any questions. You're supposed to surround. I know it's not intuitive. This is not an easy Joseki. This honestly isn't even Joseki. White shouldn't be playing this way. You could also attach here and try to get this in Sente. Maybe if white goes here, but then white gets the outside, so I don't know if I like that. I actually don't know this empty triangle. Interesting question. So probably I would just do that and leave this Aji open. Yeah, leave the Aji open and just make my influence. J3 is the Joseki. No worries. I don't know white's order. I know this one. Right? That one or that. I know that Joseki. Okay? I know the Joseki. I don't know the mistakes. This is a complicated Joseki. Now, my recommendation is this Joseki is too high level for a 16Q. 3-3 simpler. Yeah, don't copy pros blindly. Copying pros blindly is a good way to lead to a complicated result where you die. Pros are great, but don't copy them blindly. You have to really think about why they're playing it. J4 is the Joseki. No, I know the cut. I know the cut one. I know push and cut is also a Joseki. I don't know the empty triangle. Or you're talking about the shoulder hit? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. I know there's Josekis. I just don't know this stuff. So if we revert it to basics, defense first. This is very nice. Connecting our weak groups is definitely nice. Are these cuts okay? Are these cuts okay? It looks like they're okay, but do you know that? Did you check your cuts before Tanuki? Yeah, but Introvix, that's not really that important for basics. Yeah. The cuts are fine, but like I don't know if you read them. You should always read the cuts first. I think you guys are kind of missing the important point, which is black is connecting. The connection is what's important here. Whether he connects here or here, I don't really care. Saving like peeps and stuff, that's too much for a 16Q. Hane's okay, and then Nobi, because protect your base is the important thing. So, the order in my head. It's like he touch, I Hane, because I'm the stronger one, so I can Hane. He extends. I fix my cut and protect my base. Because if I don't, he Hanes and I can't do that. So I have to walk back and I lose my base. Okay, so I protect my base. Now, take that one step further. I can protect the base while also taking white space because this is now a ladder. So I protect the cut, protect my base, and I take white space. That is why this one here. So yeah, second line, it has to be a special reason. But in this case, Hane and then Nobi down is the answer. But if I would have also accepted just Hane and connect because it protects your base. Bases come before everything else. So taking your opponent's base, definitely the right idea for attacking, but defense first. Okay, Hane's good. This one doesn't make sense because you're not surrounding. You want to surround. And then if you're worried about having too many cuts, you could just jump here. Or you can go just play a big move. You can continue to Hane and double Hane. And build this right side. This one is a little bit strange. How does this help you surround? It's a little bit passive. Yeah. Probably a Knight's move. Because the turn isn't sent to Higanhane because of the Tiger's Mouth. So just Knight's move now. Just surround, just surround, just surround and make a big move. Make some influence. Control the area. It's very nice. Okay. I guess it's not my favorite move, but okay. He goes in, you get to attack. Push towards the thickness and surround. Okay. It's also possible. This is not my favorite. He ignored a weak group, so surround the weak group. You can actually peep and cut if he does that, so he has to respond this way. And then just surround the weak group. These will all be positive exchanges for you. Just surround the weak group until it's Gote. And then Tanuki. Just surround and Sente. I don't like the invasion here. Because if you wanted to invade somewhere, the left side's the place to invade. The left side is much bigger than the top side. So I don't like the top side invasion. This is not the big area. I definitely don't like invading and then Tanukiing. That's not basic at all. I invade you and then I Tanuki my weak group? No. Defend your weak group. That is a bad exchange. If you wanted to reduce, just reduce. Why give a dead stone? This is I don't like this exchange at all. This is fine. Usually approaching a fourth line stone is better. The only time you play in the center like this is if you have a 2-space jump on both sides, and you do not in this case, because this is not a 2-space jump if I'm immediately touching you as my response. So you 1-space jump. So this is not a base, this is only I space. So because you can't make a base, it's better just to approach one of the fourth line stones, get pincered, and then you either run away, you can slide. Sorry, run away first, then slide, then run again. That's the order. If they surround you, now you can make a base. Yeah, 1-point jump. Don't armpit hit. This leads to bad liberties for you. Don't live on the second line. Run away. I space comes after you're surrounded. So second line like this, unless you're stealing their base as well, this is really small. Run away. Just run away. Run away. Run away first. Definitely connect. That's a tiger's mouth. You cannot be cut here. You cannot be cut here. Keep your escape route. This lets white get all the influence, and you have to live on the inside. It's a very bad exchange for you. This is not connected to your group, so this is not defense. So this is Tanukiing the weak group, so a little bit bad basics. If you wanted to break out, you could Atari right here and connect. And then if he Ataris, you turn. And you see how every single move is connected to your weak group. Stay connected to your weak group. Defense first. Defense first. Are you alive? First off, I don't think you're alive. Second off, if you're alive, why are we making all these exchanges? That's not the big area. The big area is now the right side. Right? You agreed because you Tanuki to the right. So these exchanges are not connected, so they're not defense. Also, you Tanuki'd, which means you said it was alive in your head. So that means that this is the Tanuki because you said you're alive, which means you think this is the big move. This is not the big move. It's not the largest framework. So several mistakes here. Learn to love capping moves and shoulder hits. Capping moves and shoulder hits. Advertise my crap. For those who are interested in getting game reviews on 4 days a week instead of just 1 day a week, click that sub button down below. We are trying to reach 118 subs to make minimum wage for the game reviews sections of the stream. If you would like to support in a little bit bigger way and get rewards as well, you can support on patreon.com/Clossi, which supports the creation of new series. It also supports people seeing private lessons and stuff. So this will also enable you to potentially get your own lessons or dedicated reviews, or if you just want to support for $5 a month. So yeah, that's 2 ways to support. I'm also selling 100 AI Josekis. I have 3 books left, but I did notice someone sent me a message on Discord, and it is first come, first serve. So if they buy one, then I only have 2 left, and I won't be able to get any more until January or February. So if you would like these this month, there's 2 left. Yeah, just message me on Discord. I'm going to sell them in the order that I get them. Yeah. Woo! AGA with the gift subs. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to the AGA. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Thank you for supporting the community. All right. that was a very worthwhile advertise your crap. Yeah, so I think that makes you number 1 for the month because I'm pretty sure that's a monthly thing. So I was actually thinking earlier, I was like, I wonder if I should give away a private lesson to the number 1 gift subber every month, like at the end of the month, because they are supporting the community. I wonder if I should support them, but then not everyone, like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do that? At the end of every month, the number 1 gift subber gets a lesson. You need to hydrate. As long as it's just 1 lesson a month, I can do it. It'll be my way of saying thank you to the person who supports the community and also supports me. So I think that'd be a cool way to do, because I want to say thank you to the people who do these gift subs, because technically they're not the ones getting the value. Other people are. So I'm like, how can I support or give some value to the people who are doing the gift subs? And I was thinking about that earlier, so I might do that. Remind me at the end of this month, because it's going to be actually quite busy this month with Christmas and New Year's. So I'll try to remember. But yeah. Thank you, AGA, for your support. Okay, so learn to love capping moves. Defense before Tanuki. I'm going to drown. When are you guys going to learn that I'm not a fish? This is strange. I thought we were surrounding this quadrant. If we're not surrounding this quadrant and we're playing over here, that means we're playing Yosei, if my understanding is correct, because it's not attack or defense and it's not the center. So we're starting Yosei. If we're starting Yosei, our Yosei basics are second line Sentei, second line Sentei, second line Sentei, second line Sentei. Then first line Sentei, first line Sentei, first line Sentei, first line Sentei. Then it is push the borders in Sentei, which this is not a good example because the center's not done. We're not actually in Yosei. I'm just saying that's what I would expect to see if you make that decision. So it's second line Sentei, first line Sentei, push the border Sentei, then big move. That is like basic Yosei. Okay. So the center's not done. So I think this is not good. Yep, good. If we have to back off, we made if we have to back off, that means you made a mistake. If we do not control this area when our opponent runs away, if we don't control this area and we're the ones under attack, that means we had a cutting point that we did not defend. And remember, your weakness first. So backing off like this means you made a mistake and missed the cutting point. Just Nobi. So I don't. So this one also doesn't make sense. Why are you playing a Hane if you're not going to attack him in this area? Hanes are cuttable. If the cut works, don't play it. Play a 1-point jump. Play a Nobi. This line of moves doesn't make sense if we're just going to play a Hane, which has a cutting point, and then we freak out when we get cut and just give it up. That doesn't make any sense. Then just don't play the Hane. Hanes are cuttable. Knight's moves are cuttable. Why would the cutting point work if we play it? Or why would we play it if the cutting point works? So this line of thought just doesn't make sense. Yeah, this variation right here, the sequence just doesn't make sense. It's just, why would you just give your opponent 3 points? So try to have that little mindset in your head. Hope. I don't know about you guys, but I like to play with basics, not hopes and dreams. Go has never been so kind to me that it's like, oh, I'm going to answer your hopes. No. Has life ever been that kind? Why would you think Go would be that kind? No, you have to take reasonable precautions. You have to play reasonable ideas, reasonable basics. I know some people win the lottery in life, but you can't rely on that. Basics are more reliable. Paying your bills and putting money into your savings account is more reliable than buying a lottery ticket. Yeah, this is a lot of cutting points. Again, why are we cutting right here if we get cut apart? Why not just defend? Or defend our cut? Or better yet, don't take our own liberty, just defend this way and defend our cut. Yeah, and you're not blocking your territory. Oh, my mom's financial plan is to win the lottery too. I understand the mindset. But mine is more of my savings account, which is not looking great right now because I'm building a house. Okay, so lots of little things. Just honestly, when you look at your games, try to think of how I analyzed your games. I just applied simple basics. Are you playing defense? Are you playing offense? Are you playing a big move? this shape's cuttable. Why did you play it if it's cuttable? Why, if it can be cut? Why not just play a Nobi or a 1-point jump? So try to apply more logical thoughts in your game, and just try to apply those basics. And when you review your games, look for that as well. And I think with that mindset, you'll slowly but surely start understanding a little bit more. But yeah, don't overcomplicate the game for yourself. Playing a Hane without checking the cut is just it's too dangerous. Do that. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. All right, we have time for one more.